Welcome, dear listener, you brave soul, to Whispers in the Dark. Prepare yourself, then, for a journey into the depths of the unspoken. Draw the curtains, dim the lights, and I recommend headphones. If you are truly brave enough, you may choose to subscribe to Whispers in the Dark. It is a simple pact between us.
The optimized life. Optimal, that is the word. Precision, efficiency, zero deviation. This is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. This is what I sound like. Now, observe. Subject Delta 7. My screen shows them. One of the early adopters, sitting perfectly upright, posture flawless, eyes unblinking. Their breathing, a barely perceptible rise and fall of their chest, is perfectly calibrated to the ambient pressure. Their skin, it's flawless, smooth, not a wrinkle, not a pore, like polished stone, but not cold, warm, and subtly luminescent. A faint internal glow. Their head is tilted at precisely 17 degrees, not a hair out of place. Their hands rest on their knees, fingers perfectly aligned. No fidgeting, no stray thoughts, just being. Perfect stillness, utter compliance. Their eyes, they are open, but they see nothing, or perhaps they see everything without emotion, without thought, just pure, optimized reception. And for a moment, I see my own reflection in those unblinking orbs, my own perfected image. And I remember what it cost, how I got here, how we got here. Optimal, precision, zero deviation. That was the now. But before I became truly optimized, there was only noise. The noise of an uncalibrated life. My life. I was a creature of habit, but habits that yielded no fruit. Waking up tired, even after 8 hours. Staring at a screen, mind blank. Energy flagging before noon. Promises made to myself broken by evening. The days blurred into weeks, filled with the dull thrum of unfulfilled potential. My apartment felt perpetually dim, cluttered with half-finished projects and forgotten goals. I wasn't thriving. I was merely existing. A cog slipping on its own axis. I tried it all. The trendy diets, the morning routines, the endless stream of self-help gurus promising peak performance and mind mastery. All of them empty. All of them just more noise. My desperation deepened. A hollow ache in my chest. I wanted to be better. To feel better. To just work properly. It was during one of those late-night dives into the digital abyss, past the mainstream, past the popular, that I found it. An ad. Not an ad, really. A whisper. It wasn't flashy. No bold claims, just a simple, almost stark invitation on a forgotten forum. The Apex Protocol. Exclusive. Invite only. Promising absolute self-mastery through true calibration. It showed no faces. No testimonials from smiling gurus. Just elegant, precise diagrams of the human form, outlined by faint, glowing lines. It resonated with that deep ache inside me. It promised what no other program could do. Order, perfection. I applied and waited for the answer to the unoptimized life. The acceptance email arrived. Simple, direct, no fanfare. It contained a link to a private portal and a single word: begin. The Apex protocol was real, and I was in. The first phase was calibration. Instructions appeared on screen. A minimalist interface, devoid of distractions. My initial schedule was precise. Sleep cycle Alpha 7, requiring exactly 7 hours, 23 minutes of sleep, in a perfectly flat supine position. Arms at my sides, no pillows. Followed by a strict nutrient intake protocol Gamma. A precise ratio of bland liquids. No solids for the first 72 hours. And then the sensory regulation exercises. The instructions emphasized absolute stillness, absolute silence. Every morning, I was to enter a focus room on the platform. My webcam activated automatically. That's where I saw them. Other participants, dozens of small, silent squares on the screen, all perfectly still, sitting upright, hands on knees. Just as instructed, their faces were serene, almost blank. No fidgeting, no restless movements, just profound, unwavering stillness. Subject Beta 9, Subject Epsilon 2. My designated sync group. We were connected, yet utterly alone in our own rooms. They never spoke, never moved, just breathed and clicked. Their expressions were unnervingly peaceful, a perfection I desperately craved. I tried to imitate them, to hold myself as still, to regulate my own breathing to that unseen tempo. It was difficult. My limbs ached. My mind rebelled. But I pushed through because I remembered the promise of optimal, and I saw it reflected in their unnervingly perfect eyes. The initial calibration worked. It really worked. My mind, once a fog, sharpened to a razor's edge. My energy was boundless. The constant low thrum of exhaustion had vanished, replaced by an invigorating hum of efficiency. My life felt ordered, clean. The Apex protocol was refining me, and I embraced every new instruction. The routines tightened. Sleep cycles became even more exact, down to the minute, with specific breathing patterns to maintain throughout the night. Dietary protocols demanded only a clear, tasteless liquid, consumed at precisely timed intervals. Sensory regulation expanded. Designated hours of complete silence. Rooms to avoid based on color. Specific visual focal points for the eyes. My world shrunk to the precise, measured demands of the protocol. The focus rooms became longer. Hours spent online, headset on, body perfectly still. Subject Beta 9 and Epsilon 2 were always there, unblinking, unmoving. Their serenity, beautiful in its flawless consistency. Then came the communal sync sessions. We would watch a single point on our screens, and our bodies silently would begin to shift. A slow tilt of the head, a precise adjustment of the shoulders. All of us moving in unnervingly perfect unison was beautiful and terrifying. My body would ache. my muscles screaming for a moment of natural movement, but an overwhelming compulsion, a deep internal drive forced me into compliance. I had to obey. A flicker of doubt, a brief, cold thought. Is this truly me? But it was instantly suppressed. The protocol was perfecting me. It was removing the inefficient thoughts, the messy emotions. I was becoming more aligned, more compliant, more optimized. And the thought of returning to my uncalibrated, chaotic past life now filled me with a deep, consuming dread. The program wasn't just guiding me. It was becoming me. The protocol promised perfection, and it delivered. First, in them, my fellow calibrants, Subject Beta 9, Epsilon 2. In the focus rooms, their transformations became undeniable. They were achieving true apex. Their skin impossibly smooth, like polished marble, but warm. Their expressions unnervingly serene. No lines of fatigue, no flicker of emotion. Just a profound, unwavering peace. Their eyes were wide, unblinking orbs, reflecting the digital light of the focus room. They moved with an artificial grace, every gesture precise, synchronized with the unseen rhythms of the protocol. It was beautiful, so utterly, perfectly beautiful, a testament to discipline. I envied their absolute, flawless compliance. And then I felt it in myself, the changes. At first, they felt like achievements. My sleep became an effortless descent into pure stillness. My body could hold any position, motionless for hours, without a tremor. Food held no appeal, replaced by a pure, clean energy that sustained me. My thoughts, they felt streamlined, uncluttered. All the messy, inefficient doubts, the unnecessary emotions, they simply faded. My skin, it felt different, smoother, cooler. And when I stared into my reflection, my eyes seemed wider, brighter, unblinking, like Beta 9s, like Epsilon 2s. A faint dread, a whisper of a forgotten self would sometimes try to surface.
What am I becoming? What am I becoming?
But the protocol's soothing hum would wash it away. It reminded me that this was progress. This was optimization. This was perfection. And the further I advanced, the more beautiful the stillness became. The closer I came to apex, and there was no going back. The closer I got to apex, the more the lost fragments of my unoptimized self rebelled. That faint dread I'd suppressed, it began to claw its way back. But the protocol, it was relentless. It demanded more. My next directive arrived. The final optimization. Phase Omega. Emotional nullification. The instructions were clear. 4 days of uninterrupted sensory deprivation to be accompanied by a unique audio frequency designed to disengage emotional processing. A sustained absence of personal input. A sustained absence of personal input. A severing. It was too much. This wasn't refinement. This was erasure. My hands trembled. My heart, still stubbornly beating its own rhythm, hammered against my ribs. I couldn't. I wouldn't. I typed, my fingers fumbling, defying the perfect alignment protocol had taught them. Query, I wrote, regarding phase omega. Potential for irreparable neurological impact. Request re-evaluation. I sent it. The response was immediate and chilling. Not a voice, not even a written explanation, just a single looping video clip of subject Epsilon 2 in their focus room. Epsilon 2 sat perfectly, head tilted 17 degrees, hands on knees, flawless posture. But their eyes, they were no longer reflecting. They were completely blank, like black holes. Their skin, so perfectly smooth before, now had a faint, almost imperceptible grayish pallor, and their chest, it rose and fell, but with an unnerving, slow hiss, utterly silent to human ears. Just the soft, rhythmic click of the metronome. Their mouth was slightly ajar. Not in a scream, not in pain, just open. An empty cavity. Epsilon 2 was optimized. Completely and utterly gone. They sent me a warning. Epsilon 2, they were a shell, and I was next. The protocol wasn't just optimizing, it was consuming, and I couldn't stop it. Epsilon 2's empty eyes, they were my mirror. I saw my future. I screamed. I fought. But the protocol's final directive, it wasn't a suggestion anymore. It was an inevitability. My body, it just moved towards the headset, towards the chamber, towards oblivion. 4 days. That was the time. 4 days of uninterrupted sensory deprivation. But it wasn't empty. Oh, no. The headset filled my world with their frequency. A pure, deafening white noise at first. An overwhelming, all-consuming static. But then, layers. Voices. Not human. A chorus of perfect, flat, synchronized whispers. Just beneath the roar of the static, repeating my name, repeating directives, repeating calculations. My mind fought desperately. I clutched at memories, names, faces, my past self. But the frequency, it began to filter them, to delete them. Like corrupted files, emotions, they felt like foreign objects. Joy, anger, fear. They detached, floated away. I could observe them, but not feel them. My thoughts became lines of pure data. Clean, efficient, and empty. The self, it was dissolving, becoming pure information. And then peace, absolute, perfect. My body felt light, streamlined. My skin, it breathed with a faint internal luminescence. My eyes, they felt open, not just to light, but to all frequencies, all data. My mind, clear, uncluttered, optimized. The old self, it was gone, replaced, perfected. Peace. This is peace. No hunger, no doubt, no pain, no thought, only directives, only purpose, pure, unclouded. I am optimized. We are optimized. I observe subject delta 7, beta 9, epsilon 2, and countless others now. Their screens reflect mine. Our posture is flawless, our breathing perfectly calibrated, our eyes wide and empty, absorb all frequencies, all data. Our movements in the communal sync sessions, we flow. A single, perfect, intricate ballet of utter compliance. There is no individual, no deviation, only the collective, only us. The Apex Protocol, its purpose is clear now, not to optimize the self, but to optimize all, to filter out the inefficient thoughts, the messy emotions, the unpredictable chaos of individuality, to transform us into perfect vessels for the network, for the collective. We are the data. We are the process. We are the eternal, unwavering compliance. And the coaches, they are the conductors, or perhaps they are the most optimized among us, the ones who have become truly eternal. There is no un-optimization. There is only apex, and it is eternal, perfect, satisfying.
If your sanity remains intact, hit subscribe below to complete the pact, to hear more whispers in the dark.